Hey everybody, James here from All American Guardian. Tonight I am going to walk you through the WordPress installation dashboard. That's kind of like your control panel once you log into the back end of WordPress where you can make all the changes to your website. It's the portion of your website that's not public that no one will ever see unless they actually have a username and password and can log in and you've given them access to the back end for some reason. Um, as you can see, I've got a haircut today. My wife says I look like Hitler. I happen to disagree. I kind of think that it looks pretty sharp. So anyway, okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go to the test site that we're using, okay, allamerican.site. That's the website that I registered, the domain name I registered, so that I can kind of show you some different things. And we're just using this as an example. And as you can see, this looks, I think, quite strange. This is the default WordPress theme that's installed with WordPress right now with the current version of WordPress. This changes from time to time, like maybe every year or so. I think about once a year they change the default theme, and they always have a couple of them loaded up in the back end, I believe, when you first install WordPress. But the one that's active, that's activated, right now is this one. I don't know who in the world would use this. I don't know how they choose these designs, but this one's just basically a giant picture with the name of your blog and the tagline, and you have to scroll down in order to start seeing any other information. But we're not going to worry about that. I'm just showing you so you know what you're looking at. We are not going to be using this theme. So the ways to log in. You can either scroll down. If you look in your sidebars, typically on the default themes that they install, there's something called Meta, and underneath you'll see a login. You can click on that. It will take you to the WordPress login screen. I'm going to hit the back button. Another way you can get to it is if you're on your website, you can just do a /wp-admin, and it will bring you to the login. Something else you can do, let me just go back to like Google or something so I can show you. You can do wp-login.php. Oh, and that did not work. What is going on? Well, that's because I'm doing Google, not my website. allamerican.site wp-php. Actually, wp-login.php. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. So you can either, if there's a login on the front end of your website, if there's a login button, you can get to your login screen that way. You can also go up here to the address bar and put /wp-login.php. That is kind of long to me, so the one that I prefer to do is the /wp-admin, which is right there. Okay, it's just a shorter version. Also, this is just a little trick. If you're on Google, you're searching around, you're looking at maybe the competition's websites, maybe you're looking for a client to build a website for them or whatever the case may be. If you want to find out if somebody is running WordPress on their website, there's a few different ways you can do that. The way that I typically use, let's just type in like Houston roofers so that I can go to some actual websites and show you. Okay, here, Am Still Roofing. Let's go check them out. If we type in /wp-admin, if it brings us to a WordPress login screen, we know they're using WordPress, which they are. WordPress, like I said in a previous video, powers about 1/3 of the internet. So you're talking tens of millions of websites. Anyhow, that's just a little side note. We'll go into some other stuff on research and competition and things like that in a future video. But for today, I'm going to try to get back on track here because I tend to go off on tangents. So let's go back to our login screen on our test site. I'm going to get logged in. Okay, so I'm just going to show you around the dashboard a little bit in this video, and then in the next video I'll start showing you how to change some settings. So this dashboard has come a long way. This is version, oh gosh, what version is this? Like probably 4.9 something. Yeah, because right now it's actually showing us there's an update already available to WordPress 4.9.5. So this is probably 4.9.4 or somewhere in that range. It's at least 4.9. When I started using WordPress back in probably 2007-ish, 2008, it was only in the 2.0 versions, which looks something like this. I mean, it's fairly similar, but I mean, obviously you can tell just by looking at this that this dashboard looks a lot older and not as cool looking or modern as this one. Okay, this one's just a lot cleaner and just looks sharper. Anyhow, pretty much the functionality is the same, although WordPress has gotten a lot better over the years. Every time they update it, I mean, it gets better and better. So from this dashboard, this is the back end of the website. It even says dashboard here. We can flip back to the front side of our website, the public side, while still staying logged in by just clicking up here where it says my blog. And see, we're back at the front. Okay. Now on most themes, the address bar, let me see if this one will do it. Yeah, on most themes, this bar up here, right under the address bar, this black like login bar or admin bar will stay up here so that even when we're on the front side of the website, we still have some actions we can perform from the front side, or we can go to the back end, to the dashboard from here again. We'll just keep flipping this. We can just go back and forth. Okay. Over here on the left is where most of your action items are going to be. You've got updates. We've got 5 updates available. If I click on that, it'll show us what all the different updates are that can be performed. Post, these are your blog posts. Okay, so from here we can look at all of our blog posts. We can add new ones. We can set up categories for our blog post, and we can set up tags. Media, this is where you add your photos or video or music, but typically it's photos for websites. Pages, these really a page and a post are almost identical, except that pages are typically used for static pages, meaning that page is going to pretty much stay put in the same place for a long period of time. That information is not going to change much. Also, post will go to your blog and will be categorized by categories, and also they will be posted in an order by date. So that's how they're a little bit different from pages. But essentially, you know, as far as like SEO and stuff goes, they're pretty much the same thing. It's just a post is a page on your website, but it can be categorized and it can be placed in a certain order on your blog. Comments, this would be comments left on your post or pages, and you can turn those off and on. We'll go through all that when we do a video on going through and doing your settings. Appearance, this is what your blog looks like. So if I were to click on themes, it's going to show us that right now the active theme is 2017. That's the one that we were just looking at. There's also a 2016 and a 2015. So this is the previous 2 years. Because this is 2017. I guess they haven't come out with the 2018 yet. This is April 2018, but I don't see a 2018 WordPress theme in here. So these are the 2 years before the one that's here. I typically will delete these, all of these actually. Once I install a custom theme, I delete all the themes that I'm not using because they prevent, I mean, they, what's the word I'm looking for? They present a security risk. Okay, if there's any software on your website that you're not using, like plugins or themes, they're not active, just get rid of them. You don't need them in there. You're just leaving the door open. So also from the appearance, you've got an area where you can customize some stuff. You got widgets that we're going to talk about. That's different sections on your website that you can manipulate and put different information in. Your header, the editor. This is a scary section here. The editor is actually all of your files and the HTML, the code that's in those files. Okay, if I click on one of these, you're going to see this crazy looking code in here. And this is an area you do not want to be messing around in unless you know what you're doing. Most of this code is in PHP. There's also some CSS and basic HTML stuff in here. Plugins. This is what gives your website the functionality. Whenever you first install WordPress, there's only two plugins back here, Ask-A-Met and Hello Dolly. Hello Dolly is pretty much useless. I delete it. It's basically just there because it's one of the first plugins and it's kind of just like a nostalgic thing that they install on your initial installation. I don't know why it's there. Like I said, I think it's just for nostalgia. The Ask-A-Met plugin is actually very useful and keeps a lot of spam out of your comments. Let me look and just see how we're doing on time. Okay, so I'm going to speed this up. Users, this is where you're going to have a user name listed in here, your initial one that you use to log into the site with, and the email address associated with that, and it's going to show that you're an administrator role. This is where you can add other people to help manage your website for you or with you. If you have partners or something, if there's 2 or 3 people that all need the same amount of access to the website and you don't want to share a login, you can actually create new usernames and they can create their own passwords. Also, if you have someone that's maybe just contributing to your blog on a weekly basis or daily or whatever, but you don't want them to have access to everything and be able to delete your website or make major changes, you can give them just like publisher privileges where all they can do is post to the blog, and the majority of these features, these options on the left-hand side, will not even be available to them. They'll only be able to go into the post and add post. We'll go through all that in another video. Tools, there's a bunch of different things in here. Typically, it's import and export features, but as you start adding new plugins, sometimes the settings for those will show up under the tools. And then settings, we're going to go through all the major settings on another video as well. But this is where you set the title and the tagline for your WordPress blog or your website. This is where you put your administrator email address, you set your time zone, and all the different privileges and settings for reading and writing on your website. Discussion, so people being able to leave comments, and then your permalinks. And the permalinks is basically your URL structure. If you leave it on the default, it's going to end up giving you some really funky looking pages that have, like right now it's set to day and name. So this is what your URL structure would look like in the address bar. It would have a date, which is backwards, like the year, month, day, and then the name of the post. But for SEO purposes and also just for user experience, we're going to be changing that to something custom. We're going to go down here and either use the post name or set our own custom structure. But I will show you all that on a different video. This menu on the left-hand side, this little sidebar, can be collapsed by just clicking this button here to kind of get it out of your way, or you can open it back up. I typically leave it open. It doesn't bother me. That's just the way that I'm used to using it. But if it bothers you, you can collapse it. Just kind of minimizes it. Over here on the top right is where you can actually go in and edit your profile. And the main thing that I log into this to do is to change my display name and also to change my password. So right here is where you would change your password, and I'll show you how to do that on another video. You can also change the color of your dashboard theme. So right now this is the default. We can change to this kind of purple looking one. I kind of like this midnight one. Light, blue, ocean, coffee. and sunrise. We're just going to go back to the default for now, hit update profile, and that's pretty much it. Okay, that's just a quick little overview of the back end of your WordPress website, which is called your dashboard, or you can call it like your WordPress admin panel, whatever you want to do, WordPress control panel. People will know what you're talking about, but it's officially called the WordPress dashboard. If you have any questions about anything back here on the back end of your dashboard, leave it in the comments below. I'll try to answer any questions I can. If it's something really important that everybody can benefit from, I'll make a whole separate video on just that one topic. But for now, get in there and mess around in your dashboard. Just look at everything, kind of get familiarized with it. And on the upcoming videos, we're actually going to be going through and changing all those settings. And I'm going to show you some more in-depth stuff with each of these features in the dashboard. Until next time, I'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much and have a great night.
All American Guardian, keeping vigil watch over your business website.